Hey everyone, Josh and Christina here from Into the Multiverse, here on the Sharpening Report YouTube channel, which is Josh Peck Disclosure. If you haven't done so already, subscribe, and actually stay tuned because we have some very important news about the Sharpening Report coming up. But today we want to talk about quantum tunneling. It's by far one of the most interesting things that we've ever done research into. The whole process, it's extremely mysterious. But it's absolutely vital for life as we know it to continue in the way that it is. There are also aspects of it that can have strange, even harmful consequences.
Imagine bouncing a tennis ball against a wall. For us, every single time the ball comes back to us. However, due to the strange nature of the quantum world, there is technically a statistical possibility that that ball will end up on the other side of the wall, or even in the wall itself. Now, I didn't say that the ball would go through the wall, at least not exactly. If a weird case of macro-scale quantum tunneling took place, the ball would disappear suddenly when it approached the wall, then immediately reappear on the other side of the wall, and the tennis ball still perfectly intact. Of course, there is not much of a chance that this will happen, ever. Yet, the statistical possibility that still exists. It technically could happen.
Yeah, and the reason for this goes into the extremely probabilistic nature of the quantum world. As proven by Werner Heisenberg, his uncertainty principle, the position and momentum of a particle can't be simultaneously known. So, for example, if you know the position of, let's say, an electron, you can't know the velocity. You can't know how fast it's going. Now, if you know the velocity, you can't know the position. You won't know where it's at. Now, because of this, probabilities are used. In a sense, they use probabilities to guess where a particle, like an electron, might be. An electron might have a higher chance of being in one place rather than another. Now, these probabilities create what's called a probability cloud.
As we can see in the picture, the chances of the electron being in the center of the cloud are greater than it being away from it. However, even though the chances are incredibly small, there is a statistical possibility that the electron could be found near the edge of the cloud. This is where things begin to get strange.
Yeah, quantum tunneling is the ability of a particle, such as an electron, to travel through a barrier at an instantaneous speed. If there is a barrier of higher energy than the electron, and an electron approaches it, we would normally assume it's impossible for the electron to breach that barrier. In fact, most times it would be impossible. However, every great once in a while, the electron does something completely unexpected. In the rarest of cases, the electron simply appears on the other side of the barrier. Also, just as the tennis ball and wall example, the barrier and electron are both perfectly intact. So how can this be possible?
Due to the probabilistic nature of electrons, at the moment an electron approaches a barrier, there's still a slight chance within the probability cloud that the electron can be found on the other side of the barrier. When that small chance is realized and the electron actually is found on the other side, quantum tunneling has occurred. Technically, the electron isn't going through the barrier because, strangely enough, no time passes for the electron during quantum tunneling. It occurs at an absolute instant, much in the same way photons are able to communicate at the instantaneous speeds when entangled, quantum entanglement. Electrons can breach a high energy barrier instantly.
Now, while this may sound like it's very strange and even impossible, these type of occurrences, it's actually essential for life on Earth as we know it, believe it or not. The sun and all known stars are able to shine due to quantum tunneling. The sun uses a process called nuclear fusion in order to produce light and heat. So two atomic nuclei, which is just the plural of nucleus, two atomic nuclei, both positively charged, collide to form a new element, and in that process, photons are released. Now the problem is, since both nuclei are positively charged, they repel. Much much as the same as with two sides of magnet, the same side of two magnets. This means that there is an energy barrier that the nuclei must overcome in order to fuse. However, as the math involved shows, the nuclei in the sun, they don't possess enough energy to overcome that barrier. The only way that this becomes possible is in the rare event of quantum tunneling. Of course, there are billions upon billions upon billions of atomic nuclei in the sun, so even rare occurrences, what would be rare to us, is actually common enough for the sun to shine and provide us with light and heat.
And strangely enough, quantum tunneling may also have harmful side effects. According to the field of quantum biology, spontaneous DNA mutations can occur through a process called proton tunneling. Normal base pairs of DNA are joined together by a hydrogen bond, and you can check that up on Wikipedia. It will let you know a little bit more about that subject.
Yeah, here's actually a quote from Wikipedia. There exists a double well potential along a hydrogen bond separated by a potential energy barrier. It is believed that the double well potential is asymmetric, with one well deeper than the other, so the proton normally rests in the deeper well. For a mutation to occur, the proton must have tunneled into the shallower of the two potential wells. So if DNA is replicated while this quantum tunneling is going on, a mutation can occur. And there are other instances of mutations caused by quantum tunneling that are believed to even cause cancer. It's even been proposed that this is what causes us and really everything to age.
It is strange to think that the thing that allowing the sun to shine and provide the light for life on Earth itself, it may also be the thing that is causing everything to age and decay, degrade, and die. However, without quantum tunneling, life in and of itself, as we know it, could not be possible. Therefore, it is safe to say a life without quantum tunneling is truly no life at all.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of protons, we found an article on phys.org, phys.org, that we wanted to go through because this is really interesting. Now, consider that you've always thought that the only way to travel from, say, northern New Jersey to New York City was over the Hudson River via the George Washington Bridge. Then one day there's a news flash. The Lincoln Tunnel through the Hudson is actually much more efficient. Northeastern professor Paul Champion and his colleagues have made a comparable discovery deep in the subatomic world of protons, the positively charged particles found in the nucleus of every atom.
The paper was published Wednesday in the journal Nature Chemistry Science magazine. Struck by the results, highlighted it in an editor's choice column upon its publication online. Protons play a major role in the many biochemical systems critical to sustaining life, including photosynthesis and cellular respiration, the process by which cells release the energy stored in the chemical bonds of food molecules.
Classical physics posits that protons travel over thermodynamic barriers. That is, they hopscotch, in a sense, from one molecular compound to another within a system, sparking those biochemical reactions only when the temperature is high enough to kick them over the barrier. Now, Champion's team, using an ultra-fast pulsed laser system designed at Northeastern, has revealed that protons can actually tunnel through those barriers, even at room temperature, sparking the reactions at a much faster rate than what would be possible if they waited to be thermally kicked over the barrier.
The discovery appends that the understanding held for centuries of protons' behavior, as well as the compounds involved in their transport. The next step is for researchers to mimic this behavior in the labs, and then use it to develop new technologies. For example, tunneling could help transport protons across a membrane and link it to new types of batteries. In fact, certain types of biological inspired batteries are already in the pipeline. These environmentally clean rechargeable batteries are modeled after mitochondria, the energy factories of an animal, plant, and plant cells. Just as mitochondria convert glucose, a simple sugar, into adenosine triphosphate at room temperature. To power living cells, biobatteries will, when perfected, could convert energy stored in glucose to power devices.
Yeah, from laptops to even cars. Here's a quote here. Biology can serve as an inspiration for the materials that researchers are trying to create. And that's a quote from Champion, chair of the Department of Physics. Mitochondria are nature's own highly evolved battery system, and the currency of that battery system is protons. We found that protons tunnel incredibly fast at room temperature to move from one point to another. Indeed, that is their dominant mode of transport. It is a very, very surprising result. So the team's novel understanding of how a proton operates underlies the tunneling capability. So rather than functioning as simply a particle, hopping over point A to reach point B, according to classical physics, the proton also functions as a wave, puncturing point A to reach point B in line with quantum physics.
At first, we weren't sure what we were seeing, says Champion, and then when we finally realized the protons were tunneling at room temperature, the process was remarkably fast. So much faster than over-the-barrier classical transport. We were shocked. For their experiment, the researchers turned to a protein called green fluorescent protein, or GFP for short. As a model system, GFP, first seen in the jellyfish Aquaria victoria, is commonly used as a marker in biomedical research because of it emits a green glow. By inserting DNA from GFP into their proteins, researchers can follow GFP's colorful glow to track the processes from nerve cell growth to cancer progression.
That's interesting. Here's another quote. The elements comprising GFP are well known, says Bridget Saina, the paper's first author and a doctoral student in physics. The protons move internally a short distance in one direction, and then they move back among just 4 elements. They are 3 compounds, a glutamic acid, a serine, and a water, and the chromophore, which determines the green color. The proton's journey, says Saina, is what sets off the green glow. The researchers used light from their custom-designed lasers to trigger the proton transport process, expectantly watching the particles' travels over broad time and temperature scales.
Now, by narrowing down the duration of the pulse, we could actually see and track the molecular dynamics over the entire cycle, says Elna. PhD 17, it was fascinating. Among those recognizing the breakthrough was Martin Karplus, winner of the 2013 Nobel Prize in Chemistry with Michael Levitt and Aria Warshel. It certainly makes clear the importance of deep tunneling in proton transfer reaction at room temperature. Karplus wrote this in his email to Champion. Congratulations.
Yeah, so we want to know what you at home think about this quantum tunneling phenomena. Should we be using this to advance technical research? It seems on one hand, quantum tunneling might cause cancer or even cause aging, yet on the other hand, so they say it might provide a cure or a treatment for cancer. So now are they just saying that because they want funding for their research and maybe it's not such a good idea, or are there health benefits to this too? We want to know what you think. Leave us a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to check out Into the Multiverse. It's youtube.com/IntoTheMultiverse for more discussions like this from Christina and I in an actual set, a nice television studio. And make sure to subscribe to that. Subscribe here to Josh Peck Disclosure. And again, stay tuned to this channel because coming up soon we're going to have some really important and exciting information for regular viewers of the Sharpening Report. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Share this video, like it, comment, let us know what you think. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care and God bless.